Welcome back. I'm Jocelyn Bamford. My guest today is Mark Josephs, president of Kisko Products. Before we went to the break, we were talking about inflation. Let's talk about the other reoccurring issue that manufacturers are faced with, which is supply chain problems. Hearing that from absolutely everybody. How has supply chain issues impacted your business, Mark?
Well, who would have thought it could be as bad as it is, Jocelyn, for everyone? Let's just take shipping containers, for example, where those who are importing, whether from China, prices went from $4,500 to $30,000 for a container. For us ourselves, we had juice coming in from Spain that was sitting at the port in Spain from December, and we could not get it on a container, and the rates just kept increasing. And eventually, what had been like, a $5,000 load eventually shipped at about $15,000 in the month of March, forcing us to have to try and do some sort of a spot buy domestically so that we didn't stop production, and of course, paying a higher price. So it's happening in every facet of the business. There's no more just in time. That no longer exists. It's now making sure manufacturers are making sure that they have enough inventory on hand in order to take them through just in case their next order doesn't arrive on time for whatever reason. So it's massive implications. It's costing everyone additional money, tying up capital, all those things. And it's just, we've seen in the auto industry what's taken place with the chip shortages and so forth. So every area it's been bad. And, I'm not sure when it's going to be rectified, but what I'm hearing is we believe in the industry that we're still going to go through the same pains in 2023. And, if you take even just the local trucking issues, so not even the component side, but Canada is short around 10,000 truckers. And in the US, that number is over 100,000. So it's massive implications and costs for everyone in the industry, and ultimately affecting the consumer.
Yeah, and that ends up when people are faced with inflation, they're also faced with higher food prices because of some of these pressures. I understand from other food manufacturers, and you touched upon it just briefly, that they've had to have additional inventories on hand. And I know some of them have additional inventories that might be expiring because it's a product that has an expiry date. How is that impacting you?
Well, that is true. You can end up having that issue because you brought some extra in and potentially didn't use it all based on demand. But, just to give you an example, in order to secure, because let's say for the Ukraine, for example, they're a huge agricultural country, and juices come out of there, grains come out of there, everything. So the impact there's been massive shortages throughout. So we had to lock in and bring juice in from some other countries in July and August that we normally wouldn't bring in until November and January, tying up huge amounts of money. Another situation is corn. Ukraine supplies 25% of the global corn supply, which ultimately is used in different ways, including fructose as a sweetener. And right now, the sweetener companies won't even give us our contracts for 2023 because no one knows what the global supply is really going to look like, because you take the Ukraine out of it, and then you have heat waves that have occurred across the US affecting crops and things like that. So it's massive, the impact what is taking place, but many consumers don't know. Like several times when they do go, if you go into some grocery stores, you will see some empty shelves. And I've been through the US recently, and you will see empty shelves in different retailers. And in many cases, it's not even because they can't produce, but it's because they can't get it to store level because the retailers themselves do not have enough truckers. So just massive. It's just crazy what we're going through. But, all we can do is do it one day at a time and keep plugging ahead.
Now, we just have about 30 seconds left. Wait, I've heard about the code of conduct for retailers in the grocery industry. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, so Retail Council of Canada arguing we don't really need a code of conduct, and the battle goes back and forth and it goes drawn out, because why would they want that when they can currently dictate things? And everybody's trying to figure out how to write this thing. This is really simple. You don't have to ever reinvent anything. Britain, Australia already have a code of conduct. All you have to do is take the framework of what they have, take out what's not relevant here, adapt it, and so forth, and there you go. But this is just a drawn-out battle that continues on.
Well, we need to go to break. We'll be right back on Canadian Innovators. Don't go away.